Ladies and gentlemen, we are with someone here based on special requests. Her name's been calling in some of the previous interviews. It has to do with administration of a league. And as you heard from a couple of people before her, that she was doing a wonderful job and she stepped down. I don't know if it was stepped down or disappeared. She would tell us. So without further ado, I would ask her to introduce herself and give a little background for where she came.
Okay, hi, I'm Nadia. Um, oh my God, my love for football came through my dad, who was one of the first FIFA refs in Jamaica. And I grew up going every weekend. He was either refereeing the Costa Cup game or some league game or somewhere. We were always traveling with dad. I remember going to Clarendon College and seeing Laza play. So it's been a long time that I've been involved in the game. And we came up to Canada, and in Toronto, I just got back into the swing of the game again. So, and like you said, it's from the administrative part because I've never really been interested in playing the game.
Okay. So what year you came to Canada?
We
And
migrated in,
and, and for what purpose? Is it
well, we migrated in 79 because Jamaica was a political hotspot. And, it was very unsettling kind of thing. And I know a few people, since leaving we've found out that a few people up top had told my dad that, you need to get your family out because it's not a good scene. So we migrated in 79, and then we were living with his brother in Cornwall, Ontario, east of Ottawa. But in January of 80, we moved to Toronto.
okay? What part of Toronto? Eastern, Western?
Scarborough, always been in Scarborough. Scarborough for life.
And who are you gonna blame for getting you involved in this thing?
Um, in the Toronto part of soccer, it
Yes.
would be Barry Huey. He passed away. He was a great guy. He was like my adopted dad in Canada here. But yeah, I put the blame on him.
Okay, and what's your first affiliation with a club or a team?
I used to go down to Driftwood and watch Nascimento play because I had a good friend who played with them. And I just go down there. I'd go with Barry sometimes and just watch it. And then it just transcended into other football issues.
So is that the Driftwood that with the Habib's brothers and
Ricky, there was Wayne,
Keith?
they had Keith
Yeah,
Wallace, yeah.
yeah,
There was Keithy. They had Weasel, Stroker, all those guys. All those guys played at Driftwood.
yeah. That was a good.
There was the DeCiccio brothers, Dwight and David. So I knew all of them back then.
Were you did they rope you into administrate then, or you just
No,
fan
no,
supporting?
I was just a spectator. I was a very ardent spectator. But Barry, I think it was Barry and Skedron, it transcended where they got me involved into Soccer Fest. And that's where the administrative part started.
Okay, and what position they gave you in Soccer Fest in terms of where you started there?
I scheduled the games and ran the games kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we would like have, make the schedule and do all of that and go down in the morning and, make sure everything goes well and games are running, referees are looked after.
That's what I was now going to ask you. Did you touch any part of referee coordination too, or you just the
Well, for
schedule?
Soccer Fest, yeah, because, well, like at that time, you just call Lucky, tell Lucky what you need, and it's taken care of. It's always been that way with Lucky, I think. You just explain to Lucky what you want, and it's done. You don't
And,
have to worry.
and that's Lucky Boots you're talking, right?
That's Lucky Booth.
All right. So your name's been calling, as I told the public here now, with the Mello League. I remember in a couple of the interviews I said I saw this lady while I was playing there, was going from team to team with a clipboard or whatever. And how did you get involved in that? Because I knew in the early days it was Mikey Lim, then it Barry.
Yeah, I
Paula.
used to go and watch. I was just like I was a spectator. I would go up on a Sunday when they're at Leacock. I would watch them, and you just you meet people. you're talking around them. And, you know, I went there a few times and quite a while. And I don't know, I just kind of, I don't know, I really can't tell you how I got into the administrative part, but I was helping Barry and Winnie, because Barry and Winnie were doing it. And it just transcended, because when Barry said he was done, I'm like, okay, we can't really make the league die, you know, because this was everybody's Sunday best kind of thing, right? I said, okay, I would do, you know, that part of it for him. And, you know, it just went from there.
And
Because I was trying to remember how many years I was doing it, and I can't.
that's what we okay. All right, okay.
I can't
But
remember.
how was it in the initial stage? Was there a love for it? Was everything working? The better
Okay, you know,
part of it.
it was okay because we were at Leacock, and there were quite a few challenges with the higher ups, meaning like the school board, and you know, and then, you know, like some of, you know, like our guys, it's a fun day. They go there, they're going to kick ball, they're going to eat, they're going to have fun and everything. And, you know, sometimes they get, I would say, for lack of a better word, carried away. So, you know, you're forever after them. Guys, you got to clean up. Guys, you can't leave that. Guys, you can't be drinking out in public like this. You can't do this. You can't do that. And, you know, it's like, whatever, they still did it. You know, so it was like a battle that you had to keep going at them, going at them, going at them. But, you know, and the first year I remember there was a little bit of pushback, because it's like, who is she? What does she know about football? And, you know, there was one person in particular. I mean, he and I became very good friends afterwards, but, you know, it's like, what she know about football? And there was another player who said, no, that's not the person to ask about that. She knows the game. It's okay. And then I remember when we got to knockout and they were doing penalty kicks, he missed. And subsequently his team lost. And I went up to him when the game was finished and I said, you know, you did ask a few months ago what I know about football. And the first thing I had learned about football from my dad and Ali McNabb was penalties should never miss. There was no malice or anything intended. And like I said, he and I became very good friends after that, like really good friends. So it was just, you know, just a mutual, you know, yeah, I do kind of have an idea what I'm talking about. So yeah. And we just went from there.
So now you have this. I'm getting a feedback from you.
A feedback? How? Where?
With my voice. Okay, so that's good. So how we know the permit is a situation because I've been there, done that, right? When did it start getting problematic? And we'll take it in two phases. The facility part of it, the permitting part of it, but obviously there was other areas because it seemed to me it was a whole combination because according to Natalie in her interview, you were doing a lot. You were doing everything. And before you go there, what was your official position in the league?
I think I was just like the administrator, you know, but I ended up like, it's like, you know, and as Natalie said, I had to secure the permit, schedule the games, coordinate the referees, everything, basically everything. So that's what I ended up doing.
It was left up to you then.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you know, we agreed at the table that there would be a body of people to help, but you know, they helped when they felt like helping, kind of thing. So you know, it basically became a one-person thing, and yeah, that was on me. I was doing all of that.
To the public, that means that if you were expecting help and then you start doing it all, you engulf in the passion of it, you realize what it took to make it work. And I know in those situations, you would like the help, but because the Sunday is upon you, it's only Sundays the league played, you tell yourself, you try your best to get everything done.
Yeah, basically, because I mean, like, you know, it was like, okay, you know, you're off on a Sunday, you don't have to work. you know, and I leave my two girls at home and I go to the field, and because they've never really been interested in the game either. But, you know, sometimes they would go with me, sometimes, most times they wouldn't. And, you know, you're there, and then, you know, sometimes, you know, all of these guys, yeah, we're going to help, we're going to help, we're going to help. And it's like, okay, where's the help? But, you know, if you want the thing to continue, I kind of know I have to do this to get it to continue.
Was it a situation where the competition, I know how some, what about the leaders of the team? Because sometimes people get so embedded in the competitive aspect of the league that they worried about how much guys they have to play, who's going to be playing, and you know, you calling them to ask them XYZ to help with something, nets or something. Is that around the area that you started having the problem?
Yeah, yeah. Because, you know, like everybody was affiliated with a team. And, you know, like you have to do what I was doing, you have to be neutral, you know, because there was a time that I was helping out, not helping out, but I was involved a little bit with West Indies. But then I had to step away from that because you can't be directly involved with a team if you're going to be an administrator in the league, because you have to be neutral, you know. So you can't be showing any favoritism or anything like that. You have to stand on neutral ground. So it, you know, you ask for help and it would come, you know, because I remember there were times when the odd Sunday I had to work, but I would leave work, go to the field, drop off the nets, and go back to work. And then when I finish work, I'd go back and pick up the nets.
And who would be the person you would drop it to that you felt comfortable that would help
Well,
you?
sometimes whoever had the first game, because the thing was, whoever's having the first game puts the nets up, and whoever has the last game takes the nets down.
Is that
So
the rule?
that was what we had, you know, determined. And I would go drop off. Because I ended up putting the nets. I had an old suitcase and I used to put the nets and the pins and everything in the suitcase, and you just carry the suitcase. And I would drop it off at the field and go back to work. And then when the games finish at the end of the day, you know, everybody's celebrating, they're eating, they're drinking, they're carrying on. And I'm like, yo, I need you to take the nets down so I can leave. You know, I'd like, yeah, all fun and games. You know, sometimes some of those guys were there till dark. I can't be here till dark. I gotta go home. Take down the nets, please. I refuse to take down a net. I would not take down a net.
Okay, so let's say staying with that type of problem. Obviously, you did it for more than 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Longer than I was trying to remember today, because my first year was Leacock. And at the end of that year, we had the problem with I think it was a principal or whatever, and we lost the permit. And there was a whole lot of drama following that. And I went to the school board office and I sat down with the lady who worked there. And I said, listen, you know, we have to be reasonable. We're talking about grown men here. Grown men aren't going to do what you guys have said we did. And incidentally, if you look back, you will see that when this thing occurred, we did not have the field. We don't play on the long weekend. We don't play Carabana weekend. And that's when you had the problem, or whatever weekend the problem was, we did not play that weekend. So we were not there. And then she and I talked a little bit, and, you know, that's when I said, okay, we're going to start fresh. We're going to start everything fresh. And it's kind of like on the spur of the moment, overnight, I changed the name. So everything was fresh.
From what to what?
Went from Mello Masters to Caribbean Masters.
So that was the reason for the change of name, to facilitate a permit?
Yeah, because the Mello Masters had all kind of marks against them. You know, it was just not going to happen. Because if you put Mello Masters in the system, all the history would come up.
Mm-hmm.
So the chances of getting a permit were next to none.
So how you come up with this bright idea? Was it recommended to you, seeing that you?
No. I just said, look, you know, we're a very diverse lot. It was a very diverse bunch of guys who play. So let's just say Caribbean Masters. Let's just like encompass everybody in one thing. And we just, you know, I said this. She said okay. That year, I think we had to put a bond. I had a bond to deal with, and we went to Vanier for 2 years. think we're at George Vanier by Peanut Plaza for a
Yeah.
couple of years. Yeah, we were there for a couple of years.
Nobody mentioned that. That's part of the history.
Yeah, we were there for a couple of years. And again, even as grown men, you don't have any regards for rules and regulations because, you try to explain to them that this is a school, this is a facility. There's certain things you cannot do, but they were doing it anyway, And then, she called me and a couple of times or emailed me and said, there are these reports and whatever. And I'm trying to like, really? Let me deal with it. Let me deal with it. Let me deal with it. And I think at the last straw, it was like, you can't go back there. They didn't want us back there because they had, video of things. And I'm like, oh my God.
So when you were at Vanier, was it Caribbean Masters or Mello Masters?
I think I changed it to Caribbean. I think we changed it when we left Leacock, because Leacock was my first year under the Mello flag. And I know there was a lot of problems there down at the school board. They didn't even want to hear the name. There was no talking to, so everything changed.
Okay. Did you go down to Thompson Park?
No.
Were you part of the administration? So
I left. When I left, we were at Lamoureux, up at Birchmount, Silver Springs, by Silver Springs there. Yeah, that was it. That's when I left. I left then. And then the following year, they went to Thompson Park.
Okay, so what you're saying, there was Leacock?
Well, Leacock, we did Vanier. I did John A. MacDonald.
Right.
Yeah, I did John A. MacDonald. And then I went to, we had, what's the name of that one? Up at Kennedy and McNichol.
Kennedy and McNichol, that's is that Lamb 4 or something?
One of those, yeah. I think we were there for a year, I think. And then I got Lamoureux at Birchmount and Finch area.
Okay, you could recall how long you stayed at Birchmount and Finch, that long?
I think it was 2 years, maybe 2. Okay. I think it was 2 or 3 years. I can't remember. I was trying to remember.
So now you just looking at that roughly, your tenure starting to look all around between 7 to 9 years?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what made you now?
Or maybe longer, because I remember, I think my daughter, when I was expecting my first daughter, I hadn't taken over. I was just part of the helping Barry out kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe she was like probably 2 or something, or 3 when I took over, and she was in high school, like, yeah, maybe 10 or more years. I think I was there. I don't remember. Oh. Probably. It was a long time. Let me tell you, it was a long time.
What?
It was okay. It had its ups, it had its downs, hills and valleys. But one of the things, if I don't mention that I made some amazing friendships in that tenure, then I would be really doing myself an injustice. I made Bugs is the big brother my parents did not give me, and some of the other guys throughout the league, I've just made some lifelong friends.
Yeah, but that's why I was now going to do the analysis on that, because if you're that long, and you obviously everything in life, you have little problems that you've been working through and you're getting that experience, so you kind of know how to fix it and how to jimmy it. What take you over that edge?
I had enough. It was just, going to and I used to think that, like I said, you're all grown men. And every week I'm at the park and I'm literally like, okay, guys, you need to pay your dues. Guys, you need to pay your dues. Guys, you need to pay your dues. Right? Because, when you get the permit, you had to, at the time, you had to give them post-dated checks. Right? Mm-hmm. So it was my checks that they had. So like, yo, you all need to give me back I need the money, because, a payment is coming out such and such a day, and hello, it's mine, and I can't afford to have anything go wrong with that, because that's my stuff, right? So, but you would be, constantly going after these guys saying, you need to pay your dues, you need to pay your dues, you need to pay your dues, you know? And, you know, one of the things I made sure though was that my referees were always paid. They were always paid. I made sure of that. And it's just, you know,
It's a tough situation because that's not advisable. If you put in your, I would assume you're talking about personal checks.
yeah.
Well, that's serious business you're talking there now.
Yeah, but you know, you want it to continue because at the time, you know, even like when you apply for the permit, they have a million questions, you know. Yeah, we're a nonprofit. No, we're not registered, but you know, it's a recreational thing. And you know, they start asking you all these 9 million questions.
I know that part, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So I felt okay in that I had forged a bond with the powers that be at the city.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, even when we're moving from park to park or whatever, they really didn't come back and say, ask those questions because they knew.
Right.
You know, it's okay. Somebody else wants to park on a Sunday from, you know, 10 to 2. So let me put you at this park. And, you know, so they accommodated us. But once they realized, you know, we were doing what we had to do, they didn't really get into that side of the, you know, because, you know, it's like, what's your registration number? You have a nonprofit, you have a charity? Like, no, it's a recreational thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no big money in this, you know, and I would say, look, I charge each of my teams this much. This much is your permit. This much is my referee fees. It leaves me with next to nothing. We're just breaking even here. You know, I might be able to buy a couple nets. Yeah, okay, fine. You know, so.
Do you think that being a female as an administrator was helping soften the blow?
I think we got we had more leverage with the city, with the school boards and stuff getting those permits because I was dealing with females, you know. It wasn't like a, you know, whoever I dealt with, I would just, you know, just talk to them and, you know, just talk, you know. So I don't know, maybe it made it a little easier in securing them. Or I don't know, maybe they just said, okay, we'll give them a chance. Because let me tell you, we had a lot of chances, Midget. We had so many chances.
Try to recall that day, that situation, that's something that after giving 10 years or so, that because you're going to miss that 10 that you put in regardless of the problems. What was the tipping? What tipped you? That was it. You know, next Sunday, I don't even want to hear about the league. I'm not even going there. I had enough.
I think, you know, I was getting tired of the up and down, the back and forth, you know, doing it on your own and everything. But I think what put me over the edge was that my kids, I missed out on watching my girls. You know, like every Sunday you're out of the house, right? And it's like, it bothered them, but they didn't want to say anything to me to, you know, maybe you're going to upset mommy or something like that. But, you know, every now and again, you know, there'd be a little thing coming out, but, oh yeah, well, she has soccer. We can't go. She won't take us. She's going to soccer, you know, and and I sat down, I'm like, you know, they've grown up and I've missed out on that. You know, yes, I work, but I've missed out on just, you know, being home, hanging out with them, doing stuff with them because I'm at the field. You know, and they don't want to go. It's not like they never shared my passion for the game. You know, my big daughter played for 1 year and, you know, I said, you know, do you like it? She goes, I only did it because you wanted me to do it. I'm like, oh my God. Oh. Like, because I said, you know, maybe it would be nice. Maybe you'd enjoy it, you know. She only did it because I asked her to do it. So, yeah. You know, and I just said, you know, enough. I need to back out, take a step back, spend some time with them, and get my Sundays back, because that's my day off in the week, right? Just get my Sunday back. You know, if I want to sleep in, I shouldn't have to, oh my God, first game's at 10 o'clock. I got to go get the nets there. I shouldn't have to do that.
So do you go Thompson Park?
I've been there a couple times. I went there a couple times. Yeah. I didn't stay very long. I just, because, you know, have you ever gone down there? Have you ever gone to Thompson Park?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, there's no parking. And
parking, but it's limited, I would say, based on the amount of cars that's supposed to be there.
Yeah, but then our people don't respect parking lots and parking, spaces, because they would just park their car wherever and come out and they go play a game, and a car, like you can't move because the driver of that car is on the field, kind of thing, right? And like a couple times I went there and I'm like, I don't miss this. I don't miss this at all. I didn't miss it.
Yeah, that's the problem I have with Thompson Park. I just find that in and out is very
It's very
chaotic.
difficult,
It's
because even I noticed that they opened a spot closer to Lawrence, like just an area. There was just a empty lot that people were parking in, which made it a little easier. But it's still, and it was just too much. And I'm like, yeah, I would go watch maybe one game, talk to some people, and leave. I wouldn't sit there like a whole day thing.
But you realize now they have a broader base administrative, they have a whole committee which was different to when you were there and stuff.
Yeah.
Seems
Mm-hmm.
like operation wise, they seem to have
That's what, yeah, I heard when Natalie was saying that, and I figure, yeah, that would work, because I know before I left, it was basically, okay, Nadia, you do that part and we'll look after the nets and
Mhm.
because there are sometimes I would say, you know what, I'm not going to the park. And then Robert would come and pick up the nets in the morning. I would hand him the money. And then in the afternoon, he'd come back and he'd bring me the game sheets and bring the nets back, kind of thing. That was just a few times, not a lot, but there are just some days I said, look, I just don't want to go. I don't want to do this. I don't want to go there. So they would do that.
well, that's entitled to that. I mean, you can't be doing it every Sunday.
Well, I was for a long time, but it's okay. It's okay. I enjoyed the journey. It's a part of my journey. I enjoyed the journey. It's a part of my football life, if you want to call it. So yeah.
So you still support the game at any level, or you're just enjoying your children now and relaxing?
Well, they're young adults now, so they ain't nothing to enjoy. It's always, like a boop, boop, boop. But yeah, I am, if I'm not working on a Sunday, because sometimes I do have to go to work, I'm just doing my thing. I'm looking forward to Euro. Euro's coming up. I'm a Manu, I bleed Manu. I follow that. I just enjoying it. Okay, I'm not a young person, so I'm just enjoying life right now. I'm trying to just get the most of it, the best of what I can do. And, just think back, and I had fun. I will tell you, I mean, there were days when you just want to scream and punch a wall, but at the end of the day, I made a lot of great friends and I had a good time. I had a very good time doing it.
Well, Nadia, I want to thank you for giving us this information, because this information is very important to put the pieces together. Community, because as you know, we're doing the history, and I like the fact that you're willing to give the information. Even those different venues in the league, we need to
Mm-hmm.
connect the dots now, and you identify some of the problematic areas
Yeah,
that
but I mean, it will always be like that, it's because even, we can see the top leagues, like the Premier Leagues, that they don't run smooth. They have their hiccups.
that's right.
So, it's a little, a league like ours, yeah, you're gonna have hiccups, but you just have to make the best of it. You try to do it because they want to enjoy the sport. You're playing for the fun of it, because I used to tell these guys, at this stage of your life, bones don't heal the way they did when you were 20. We're not playing World Cup. We're here to have fun. You're out here to have fun and kick a ball. You don't have to kick a man to get the ball. Have fun. But it was great. And you know what you're doing with all this history, putting it together and compiling it, I think it is awesome, because there is a lot of history. There's a lot of it that rooted in the football in Toronto, going back to Bugs and Maxi and all those guys, Skedron, the whole, I'm telling you, there's just so much. It's really heartfelt. It's really, really heartfelt, and it's moving. And I like to see the fact they're still, and I'm glad, with COVID and everything, they haven't been able to play, but in time they will get it back together and take it to a new level, take it up to a new level.
The good to move forward with it, and any little glitch area we fix and we just move forward. That's all we're trying to do.
Yeah, because and one of the things I think they're they're doing, or they're like, Natalie said, when they, get them, they pay up, and then you just have to maintain the discipline, right? Because, in our society, they're looking for us to mess up so they can slam the door on you. They are. And they're watching you. They will watch you like a hawk. Oh, well, they saw this and somebody saw that. I go, Said, I was there from 9:30 and I left at 6 o'clock. I don't know what you're talking about. Because I was there the whole day.
Yeah, it's camera now, so we could only twist so much. It's better we just try to hold it, get your bag and stuff.
And that's what I kept saying to them. I kept saying to them, you have to make a choice. Do you want to play or do you want to do this? Because you can't do both. They're not going to allow you to do both. And they're watching you. You see the groundskeeper and he's smiling and he's laughing. He's watching you because in one mess up, he's the first one on the phone the next day to the city. You gotta, if you want to play the game you love or you say you love, you gotta follow the rules, because this is not this is our borrowed home kind of thing. It's not ours.
It's a certain game you have to play besides the game on the field. And you
have to play it. And let me tell you, midget, I played it. Let me tell you, I never walked into that city office without donuts in my hand. Walking with donuts. Hey guys, how you doing? Y'all good? Everybody having it? Oh my God, I love your dress. Chit chat. How you doing?
That's why we need ladies in the front.
You have to play their game. Because we need to stop relying on people to help us do what we need to do. We need to stand up and be accountable and do what we need to do for ourselves.
It seems like we still need our brain of yours,
You know what? I have no problem helping anybody with anything, but I just don't want to get involved. I want to be at the stage like I am now. If I choose to go to the park, I can go. I can leave when I want. I'm not committed to sitting there and doing anything. That's where I wanted to get, and that's where I am. And I'm okay with that right now.
Yeah, I want to thank you. All right.
Thank you for everything. Like, all your contributions to the game and the history of it and the original Caribbean Stars, because that used to confuse the hell out of me, because I had a team in the league named Caribbean Stars. And I used to look at things. I'm like, what do you mean? No, not that Caribbean Star. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I know the midget go a long way, but I wasn't too sure if you might know who it is and stuff.
Yeah. From way back when. Everybody talk about midget and Caribbean Stars. I go, no, Caribbean Stars is Q and Vinton. And no, not that Caribbean Stars, the other one. Okay, all right. Got it. The original Caribbean Stars. That's where midget. That's midget. And like I said, Bugs is a walking football historian. He and Skedron, they're like encyclopedia of this thing. Like I said, I've made such great friends through this, and I wouldn't have changed. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way, actually.
Yeah, the way you explained it, it sounds like you enjoyed the journey, and
I loved it. I went to
when you could say enough is enough and stuff.
I just had it. I had, my time was up, and a lot of these guys who used to play, and when I used to hang out sometimes with West Indies, I watched them play OSL, and those guys grew up into young men and started playing, masters, and I'm like, wow, it's a long time.
Yeah. So right now, again, thanks again, and you stay safe.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. Take care.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye now. Bye.